Hi guys, it's Sherry. Today I'm doing a quick little bonus video. This is from my previous tutorial using this texture stamp and our clay. So you can see I have all my leftover pieces here from my other project, and I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful bird using your scrap here. So what you want to do is take little sections like this. So you see how this has a lot of detail in it? We're going to stick that upside down, facing right into our clay. So I'm going to use this big one just to show you quickly. So I'm going to take that big one and I'm going to put that right on his body. So I want to make sure that that part that is all filled with the flowers is facing the bottom here. And then for its face, let's get another big flower here. And I'll just trim this up here. So I really want just a flower if possible. So I'm going to face that upside down and then push that in there, okay? And then I want to just check the tail, see what I have going on there. Let's add some purple to that tail. I'm going to lift that little section up and stick that underneath. So it's basically, you are just making sure that all of those details are on the bottom. So when we pull that out, that's what you're going to see. So now I have this beautiful section here. I'm going to cut a tiny bit off here, and I'm going to use that for the leg. So let's push that right there into the leg. And then let's do some green for the other leg. And I like to take my molds and kind of spread them so I know that my clay is getting in there as deep as I can get it. And you could use your dotting tool to really push down in there. And now let's just take some scrap clay and start filling that all in. And I want to push that in real well. Make sure you're getting all of it filled. I would hate to see you go to this and then you don't have a beak formed or something. Let's get all of this, push that all in there. Okay, let that sit in there for a couple of minutes, and then we'll start on the next one. So let's see here. I love this flower right here. This purple flower, gorgeous. Look at that color. How beautiful is that? So we're going to use that one, and let's use that on this guy with his beautiful wings. Push that in there the best that you can. Open that up if possible. And this is where I like to use my ball tools to really push it into those tiny little sections. Make sure we're getting that wing completely filled. And then let's get the tail end. Let's use that flower there and push that in. Okay, let that sit there. Let's fill this all up and just get all these beautiful scraps used. I love all this green and the little yellow flower there. I'm going to take most of this white off, and we could use that as filler. And let's go this direction. And let's see here. We're going to use this purple one here. Put that in the tail. And now we got to get his little feet. I'm going to push that in there as much as possible. Make sure that's getting filled. I think that's the most important step, is making sure your piece is completely filled. Let's use that for his wing. And I want to bring that up off his face because we want to use something else for his face. Let's do this pretty blue flower here for his face. And put that one there. I still need to fill his tail in. So I'm going to use this section here. Oops. Let's get that right there. And I want to get a lot of green in some of these. Let's go with this beautiful vine right there at the top. And remember, nothing's going to be perfect on these because you're mushing it in there, but it's going to have a really cool effect. And it's a really cool way to use up all your scrap. Oops. I'm trying to open this little leg up here. All right, so now I'm going to start cleaning some of this up because I don't want my stuff to be sticking. So get your flexible blade and then nicely and carefully start trimming up your pieces. And go slow because you don't want to cut your actual mold. Make sure everything's nice and in there. All right, so now we got 2 more. Okay, now let's see what we got. I'm gonna make sure I'm flattening these out one more time because I'd like to. We'll start with the big one. And look how cool that is. Is that not beautiful, guys? How gorgeous is that? And how easy. And the flower went right on his eye area. Perfect. I mean, is that not the coolest thing? To be able to take a mold and use your scrap like that. I mean, just so cool. Look at that. Now, I know his feet are not going to be securely on there because they're so skinny. I'm actually going to cut his little feet off because I'm going to make this into a necklace. So I want to make sure this is going to be nice and secure and nothing's going to fall off. Look at how perfect is this going to be for summertime? Is that not the coolest? So let's see how I want to do the necklace, because we have enough left over that we could do a pair of earrings too. So I would like, we're going to do one big one. And let's see here. We'll connect that little guy and that one. I might do 2 of these for earrings because I just love this. I just love that bird. Maybe we should do the earrings as the big ones. I don't know. Maybe we should do... So this is, I always find this to be the hardest part, is trying to figure out exactly how I want to place my pieces. It's always so difficult for me to figure that out. All right, so let me take a moment and figure out exactly how I want to do this necklace. All right, guys, so I decided how I'm going to do this. I did one more of my large ones, and I ended up just doing like the leaves on him. And then I'm going to make a pair of earrings doing these two because they're more matchy. And then a pair doing this one. And then this is how my necklace is going to go. So to put that necklace together, we need to use our little eyelet pins. So I'm going to pull out a bunch of these. And I think I'm going to go with gold this time. I've been using a lot of silver lately, so I want to use some gold. Okay. You could use whatever color you like. And this is going to be real simple. All right, we'll start with those. And you're going to want to also cut these down pretty low, because see how tiny our little birds are to begin with? So we don't want them to be sticking out. This one will be a little bit easier. So what you want to do is line your piece up exactly how you want it to lay on your neck. So make sure you're putting it in the position. And let's put it on whatever we're going to bake it on right away. All right, so I have this little mat here. And then I can just lay everything down as I'm placing it together, and then put it right in the oven exactly the way that I want it. So these are going to be my earrings. So the earrings, just take your eyelet pin. We're going to super glue these in and then cut off and just leave about that much in there. And where should we hang these? We're going to hang these right, I would say, I want to see, how do I want these to hang on my ear? Just go right in the middle of his back. And then just push down. Make sure you're not going in the back and popping through. Now we are going to resin the back of these to make them look pretty, so don't worry about if they look ugly. And make sure you're matching these up nicely. because you want them to be the same. So there are my earrings. And I'm going to smooth these out if they need it, which they're pretty good. But it's nice to have everything smoothed out so you don't have to sand them down when they're done being baked. Okay, those earrings. And then we're going to do these little tiny guys for our earrings. My only complaint about this is my pieces are not mirrored, but not all earrings are, so I'm okay with it. All right, so for this one, we're going to start with the middle section because that is the biggest part on where to lay our eyelet pins. And I want tiny because I don't want to push too much into his face or his tail. So I want to make sure they're tiny, and remember we're super gluing them, so it's not a big deal. And I'm going to put one off his tail here. I'm going to go in the thickest part of his tail. And then I'm going to go right on the very top of his head. Actually, I wonder if I could go here. No, I think the chain will go. So let's go to the top of his head. We got to think of all the different scenarios of what could happen. So if I go underneath like I originally am thinking, then I worry about breaking his beak off. So going on top of his head is our best option there. And remember, we are resin in the back. So now I'm going to lay this exactly how I want it on my neck. And let's make sure your eyelet pins are straight. And I want to also, let me see, I'm going to get black paint because I'm going to put little eyeballs on these little guys. Okay, so tail, head. Now, lay this one right up next to it and figure out how you want him to lay. So I'm going to go off of his belly there. So just like that. And then let's go off about right there. So we want to go leveled with that one and go right into the middle of his wings. Lay this one down. So it's just basically a little thing trying to figure out how and where to position all these little eyelets. And let's get this one right up here. And I am going to have a little bit of chain in between each one, I'm thinking, instead of just doing the jump rings. I want to make this a little bit more professional looking than just adding jump rings. I want to add a little bit of chain if I can. So I'm going to have to play around with that then. All right, so for this one, I'm going to go underneath and then I think by his buttocks. So let's go by his buttocks first. Uh-oh, losing power here, not good. This storm is killing me today. I think the weight from all the snow on the lines is not going to be a good thing today. I don't like that one. There we go. So this one, we want to do the same thing. So when you are playing around, really like working on your piece, I'm telling you, the best thing to do is always line your pieces up to really see how they're going to lay, to make sure that you're putting your eyelet hooks exactly where you want them. It'll just be easier for you to connect everything and have everything lay real nice. Okay. So lastly, we're going to get our black paint and we're just going to put little eyes on, because I think that's going to look adorable. Actually, let me do it this way. Get your tiny ball tool, stick it in the black paint, and then just put a little eye right on there. All right, now I will place this in my oven, 275 for a half hour, and then we could put this all together. Okay guys, here are our beautiful birds. Oh, I absolutely love these. I'm excited about these. Look how gorgeous these came out. These are fabulous. I decided that I'm actually going to put black glitter on the back of these, because the black will hide any of the, other colors, but I think it's going to look really cool with them being black. So the very first thing I want to do is bring out my little resin mat, and then I am going to work slowly on each one of these, because you see how they're unleveled. So we got to find ways to prop these up to keep them level so the resin doesn't like drip and fall funny. So I'm gonna kind of just put clay there and just prop them up to where they need to be propped up to stay level. And it doesn't have to be 100%, but you want them to be as perfect as they can be, so this way they're not dripping and making a real mess. Normally I would not resin pieces like this, but I really feel like these can use it. I'm going to clean this up. This has like a little loose clay here. Okay. So I think that will work. So let's start with this one. And actually, you know what? I'm going to put this on a harder surface with the clay. That way I could lift it and take it right over without it flopping and moving and making a mess. I have my little cup here, and I'm not going to make a lot of this. I'm going to start out with a little bit at a time just to make sure that this is going to work. Because this is a very, very tiny area. So I'm a little nervous about that. But I think we'll be okay. So first let's just stir. And you can see it's nice and thick. And I want to just add a little bit at a time. And actually, I think I might use a paintbrush for this one, because I think that will work better than spreading it when it's over in an area like this. So let me get my little, oh, right here, my little paintbrush. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, that one's hard as a rock already. All right, so I'm going to use a small tip one. And then just slowly put that on. And it's still going on a little thick, but with the paintbrush, I have a little bit more control. And I'll save the legs for last. Look how nice that looks. It's like the shadow of a bird. Very cool. I'm glad I picked black. Oh, look how cool that looks. Very, very cool. Okay, let's get this one. Put them on there. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm kind of dabbing more than spreading, if that makes sense. Kind of just lifting my brush up and down. And by dabbing, it's helping spread that resin and the glitter to where it needs to go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put these under my UV light quick. All right, here they are. So I'm thinking I am loving the black much better than this. And it's much, much easier to do that than paint them. Look how fabulous. I love these. I am super excited about these guys. I am so happy that this idea worked out for me. We also need to remember we have to glue these all in. So make sure you have your super glue ready then. But I am going to take a moment and resin each one of these. Make sure that I keep everything in order. So I'm going to start with this side first. And I'm just going to keep it in order that way. So let me just get my clay. And I love doing this to level things out sometimes. It's just much, much easier. All right. So now I know I'll have that side done, and then I can work on this side. Having everything stay in order is really important, guys, because you don't want to mix everything up and then struggle at the end trying to figure it all out. It's just easier to go in order at when you can. Having the resin on the back will also help give you a little bit extra strength on the legs and the tail. When you have like little pieces like this, you really do kind of want extra strength if you can, just to ensure your piece will not snap. This is Primo clay. It's usually pretty good. I normally never have an issue with it, but I also don't make stuff with tiny little skinny areas like this. So having the resin will help me feel a little bit more secure about wearing this piece. And actually, if you notice, I'm putting it on a little bit thicker this time. And I think I'm going to do a second thin coat on the other ones, on the earrings that I did. Because I love how it's coming out really dark and black. Putting it on thicker. So I think I'm going to do a second coat on that on the earrings. Okay, let me put these under my light quick. Okay, I'm going to do these ones in order as well. And I'm just going to put 2 coats, a second coat on this one. Just to give it a little bit more black. And then I won't see so much white popping through everything. If you're not used to resin, like using it, go slow. I could go a little bit faster because I've been doing it for so long. But if you're new to it, please take your time on it, because you don't want to spill it and have it like run down the sides and then have to clean it, and it just makes a huge mess and it makes your job a lot harder. And I mean, I know when I first started, I was going very slow to make sure that I did everything correctly. And I think I need a little bit more glitter in here, and I think that's why this particular one isn't showing up as dark. I didn't take notice to that on that one because I already had 1 coat on. So like when it comes to this stuff, there's no certain way of knowing exactly how much you have to add. You just got to kind of play around with it. I mean, you'll see I'm just kind of dumping it in there and then testing it out. All right, let me put these right under my UV light. And like I said, if we need to do a second coat, we can. All right, so there's our first ones. Love the way these look. All right, while those are under my UV light, I'm going to start getting my chain together here. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. If you haven't watched this tutorial yet, you're definitely going to want to, because those birds came from this particular piece. So make sure you watch that. Alrighty, let me get rid of this. Bring this over. All right, so in between each one of my connectors, I want a little bit of chain, and not a lot of chain, just a little bit. So I'm thinking probably about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Now, I don't have a ruler on hand. I never really use a ruler. I just kind of eye everything up. But I'm going to count my links so I know that everything is correct. So I'm going to do 10 links, and on the 11th one, I'm going to cut it. And you want to take that extra link off. I think that's what I need. All right. 6 or 7 I need. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6. Okay. So I have my chain. I'm going to push that off to the side. Then I need my tiny jump rings. All right, so next, after you have your jump rings and your chain cut, what you're going to do is start laying everything out exactly how you want to lay it down. Look how beautiful. I love these. I really, really do love these. These are just so darn cute. All right, these are earrings. So I'll put those at the top. Look how cool that imprint is. You can make imprints with the wings of these. All right, so these two are earrings as well. We want to put those off to the side. And then that one goes up there. That one there. And that one there. Okay. So now we have everything ready. We need to super glue our pieces together. So get your super glue. And then I like to just pull my little tabs out one at a time. I'll put them inside my little glue tip and then squeeze so a little glue comes out. That's a lot. And you need very little. And then I will press this right back. Get that. And make sure when you super glue these in, they're facing the right direction, because once they're glued in, you are not getting them out. They are stuck in there. I almost feel like there's a little film on these from the clay. So when I'm done putting these little pieces in, I am going to actually wipe all these down, because I feel like they're like wet. And you can see I'm just placing them right back in position of where they need to go when I put them together. If you get too much super glue on, just wipe it off with a wipey, because you don't want a big glob of it laying around. Now I want to just take a clean wipey, and just wipe every one down, because I want to make sure that I don't have any clay stuck to the fronts of these, since I stuck them on the clay. All right, so now that's all taken care of. So now we can start putting all our pieces together. So get your 2 flat nose pliers and get your little jump rings, and then we're going to open them up, and we will start connecting our chain to them. So connect one side, and this is going to there we go. I'm going to start off on this end. I will connect them and then close it. And make sure your piece is completely closed. And the entire process is just going to be connecting every one together. So just take your time doing that. And make sure you have it facing the correct direction. You don't want to put them on backwards. And then that's how you will have them connect. Before I go on to the next one, I am going to lay this out every step to make sure that I have these connected properly, because it may look like you have it the correct way, and then when you lay it down, you're not going to. So just double check all your work just in case, so you don't have to go back and correct something later on. Okay, look how cute that is. Oh, I love that. All right, so now what I'd like to do is I'll hold this up to my neck and see where it's gonna fall, so I know how long to make my next chain. All right, so now I know exactly where that's going to lay on my neck. I only need about that much chain. And I'm actually going to go a tad bit shorter, because now I'm going to have a bigger jump ring and my clasp. So if I wanted to stop here, I'm going to go up about right there, because that's going to be the length of like the clasp area. Now, if you want to measure this all out, I say go for it. But I always go off of my own neck. And if I have to adjust it for somebody else, I'm okay with that, because it's only that area that I would be changing. So what I like to do is I will take a pin, and I'll get both ends of my chain here. Get my other pin, find my middle section here, right there, and that's where I need to cut my chain in half. That's right where my middle is. So I need a bigger jump ring, and I need my clasp. So here's my clasp, and I actually need 2 jump rings to connect everything. I'll put my tiny one on one end of the chain. Oops. Come on, there we go. Next. I'll put the bigger jump ring on here with my clasp. And then just put your larger jump ring on, and that will finish off our beautiful necklace. Absolutely beautiful. What a one-of-a-kind piece this is. This is fantastic. I absolutely do adore this. I really hope you guys like this as much as I do. So let's finish the earrings up. These are simple. We just need a couple jump rings and our lobster, what do you call them? Oh, fish hooks. So we just need a couple jump rings and fish hooks. I gotta get a better organizer for this. This is just crazy digging into this stuff. Okay, so open up your jump rings. I'm going to open them all up at one time. I like to turn my earrings. Take the bottom loop, turn slowly. If you don't want to do this part, all you have to do is add another jump ring. And then I will take this, oops, and add my fish hook. Make sure your jump rings are closed all the way. Look how cute. Is that not adorable? These big birds are my favorite. I absolutely love the design, how they came out on those. Look how fabulous. Absolutely love that. You know, it really looks like we spent a ton of time filling up that mold and trying to put those designs on, and it was so simple. I don't think anybody ever thinks about that. I mean, I have never seen anybody do that. So I'm really glad that I kind of came up with that idea and it worked out so well for me. But look at this, guys. How gorgeous is this? I really hope that you guys enjoyed this little bonus video and that you enjoy creating all these pieces. I will see you all next time. Bye.